Missouri center Brittney Griner will not travel with the team on its upcoming 2-game road trip to Chicago and Indiana, July 30th to August 1st, to focus on her mental health.
I think it's safe to say Brittney Griner is confusing everybody these days, but now it's just getting weird.
A lot of people believe that Brittney Griner is the first male to play in the WNBA.
After she shared that kiss and warm embrace with Kevin Durant, a lot of people thought she was going to bask in her femininity.
I didn't know how they was going to react. So I just kind of took it all on myself. Like, I was just like, one day this ain't gonna be the case. Kind of is like what I would tell myself.
Brittney Griner just got hit with a temporary suspension from the WNBA. And no, it's not about an injury, performance issue, or locker room drama this time. According to multiple insiders, this situation
Liberty caught sleeping in a tough Brittney Griner.
Runs way deeper. We're talking about a possible league-wide cover-up that Brittney says she's done keeping quiet about. For weeks now, Griner's been catching heat online after wild conspiracies about her identity started making the rounds again. And instead of backing her up, it looks like the league might have folded under pressure. Word is, they decided to quietly bench her until further notice. But Brittney's not just sitting back and taking it. Nope.
Like, I have 2-3 shirts. I have my jacket, I got my sweats, I got my Nike.
So you're still in what you...
Oh yeah, you in regular clothes. I didn't get a prison uniform until I actually made it to prison at the end of my trial.
You haven't showered?
They didn't have no shower, no toilet paper, no toothbrush, toilet in the room as a whole. It's feces, urine over everything. I have to take a shirt. I found a little rough piece, a little sharp piece of metal, so I could cut it. So I had the piece that I used to wipe my body with the sink water, and then I had a piece that I used to clean myself, and that's just what I had for first few days. It was the nastiest I've ever felt and been in my life.
She's clapping back hard because this isn't just about being benched. It's turned political, and she's sick of being used. She's accusing the league of throwing her and other players under the bus just to protect itself. And here's the wild part. If she really follows through on her threat to air out what the WNBA's been trying to bury, this could flip the league upside down. We might be on the edge of one of the biggest exposés pro sports has ever seen. Now let's rewind a bit, because this whole thing dropped out of nowhere. There was no official press release, no big announcement, not even a minor scuffle or a medical excuse. Just a leaked memo floating around and a few Mercury staff whispering that Brittney wouldn't be traveling with the team. That's it. Fans were totally blindsided. She wasn't on the injury list. She looked fine on the court. Then, boom, she suddenly pulled from the roster indefinitely. And within a day, we found out she allegedly confronted some top league reps behind closed doors. And it wasn't calm. This wasn't just a disagreement. Brittney was heated, not just over the ban, but because she believes this whole move was about silencing her, not discipline. You gotta remember, Brittney's had one of the roughest runs in the league in recent memory. From being locked up overseas in Russia, to her emotional return, to being blasted all over the media, she's already been through the ringer. And when she got back, the WNBA wasted no time turning her into a poster girl. Every campaign, every interview, every spotlight, they had her out there nonstop. They built up this image of her as some unbreakable symbol, strong, recovered, inspirational. But what folks didn't see is how unreal that recovery actually was behind closed doors. Sources close to the situation claim Brittney was pushed into constant public appearances, shoved into PR events, and thrown into brand deals left and right, all while she was still dealing with trauma from her time abroad. It wasn't support, it was exploitation, plain and simple. And now, it looks like she's finally had enough. Now here's where the whole thing starts falling apart, and fast. While Brittney Griner was supposedly rehabbing behind the scenes, she wasn't just chilling and staying quiet. Nah, she was busy. Word is, she started building a digital folder packed with some seriously explosive receipts. We're talking leaked emails between execs, injury treatment logs, confidential mental health records, conflicting public statements, even private audio from player rep meetings where hush-hush policies got discussed. But don't get it twisted. She wasn't collecting this stuff to drop a podcast or feed gossip blogs. This was all about protection, and even more than that, leverage. And apparently one of those emails straight up confirms that the WNBA altered public records about multiple player incidents, one of them allegedly involving Brittney herself. That's major. So, the real question is, why now? Why is Brittney threatening to blow the lid off everything right now? What pushed her to this edge? Well, sources say it all snapped during a recent team media day. Brittney was told it'd be chill, just light interviews, nothing too deep. But right before filming started, they hit her with a surprise script for a WNBA mental wellness promo. Thing is, Brittney never agreed to be part of it and had zero involvement with the campaign. Caught off guard and clearly not feeling it, Brittney straight up walked off set. She refused to fake a smile, wouldn't pose for post-shoot pics. She was done playing along. And boom, not even 24 hours later, her suspension showed up like clockwork. Her camp is now calling it straight up retaliation. They're saying the league hit her with the ban just because she refused to act like their mascot again. But hold on, it gets even crazier. Insiders are whispering that the WNBA's been sitting on a pile of internal violations, including undisclosed medical treatments and performance enhancer usage. Now, this might not be full-on doping territory, but word is, some players received certain treatments under the radar. No official approval, no public mention. If Brittney's stash of evidence includes that, it's no wonder folks are scrambling to keep her quiet. But here's the weirdest part of all this. Her own teammates are staying totally silent. Not one public statement, not one word of support. In fact, things are starting to look extra shady. Multiple Mercury players unfollowed her on social media within 48 hours. 2 assistant coaches even untagged her in team-related posts. Like, really? That's not just petty, that's calculated. It's looking more and more like the silence isn't confusion, it's strategy, classic damage control. The team doesn't want to get dragged into whatever storm's coming next. And that silence, that might be the loudest part of all. This whole online firestorm isn't just a bad look. It's putting serious pressure on every WNBA exec trying to hide behind Brittney's suspension. But to really get how deep this goes, you gotta zoom out and look at the bigger picture. When Brittney came back from Russia, the league didn't just welcome her home, they flipped the whole narrative overnight. They went from being all about support to being all about the money. Suddenly, Brittney was the face of every press tour, corporate campaign, and so-called inspirational branding deal. But none of it felt like it was about her. It was about what she symbolized. The message was loud and clear. Look how much we support our players. But behind the curtain, totally different story. Brittney wasn't even fully healed, mentally or physically, but they rushed her back onto the court like she was some kind of golden ticket. She was still dealing with serious trauma, anxiety, and health complications from her detainment overseas. But the league didn't care. They didn't give her the time she needed to truly recover, because they were chasing ticket sales and media coverage instead. Say what you want about Brittney, but how is it fair to expect anyone to just bounce back after going through that? And then call her ungrateful the second she speaks up? That's wild. And the moment she stopped playing nice, the whispers started. She should be thankful for what the country did for her. That narrative is not just tired, it's foul. Even the media's been moving strange lately. Stephen A. Smith went on air and ripped into Brittney over a quote where she supposedly complained about fans yelling during games. Except, that quote came from a satirical account. The whole thing was fake. But did anyone double check it before blasting her on national TV? Nope. They jumped in with both feet, ready to drag her. Truth be damned. It was clear some folks in that segment didn't even care if the quote was real or not. They just wanted a reason to go at her, and that's shady no matter how you spin it. Now here's where it turns dark. Behind all the headlines and social media noise, Brittney is not doing okay, and that's coming from people close to her. She's been struggling hard with migraines, fatigue, and PTSD-like symptoms from her time in Russia. But when she asked for rest, the league allegedly kept her on tight schedules because of sponsor deals and media obligations. And get this, when she tried to get help from a therapist not connected to the WNBA, The league allegedly shut that down too. They told her, "We already provide wellness resources." But come on, if someone doesn't feel safe using in-house mental health support, denying them outside help, that's not just neglect. That could be a huge problem for the league legally and ethically. And it gets even shadier. Insiders say Brittney was quietly offered an exit deal weeks ago. We're talking about a full contract termination, a big payout, and a tight NDA, all in exchange for walking away quietly without blowing the whistle. At the time, she didn't respond. But after this latest suspension, boom. Her legal team got a follow-up offer, and this time it came wrapped in a shiny little hush money bonus. The language in the deal, it included a line about protecting both parties' interests. Yeah, that says it all. Somebody doesn't just want Brittney out. They want her silenced for good. And here's the part that's got people really uneasy. There are whispers that if Brittney doesn't take that deal while it's still on the table, they might deal with her in ways that aren't so polite. No more paperwork, no more payouts, just pressure. Meanwhile, even league insiders say the execs are clashing behind closed doors. There's tension, disagreements, panic. It's like the higher-ups don't even know how to contain what's coming next. Brittney's supporters aren't staying quiet anymore. They're demanding an independent investigation into the WNBA and all these shady power plays. Because let's be real, even if Brittney takes the fall this time, it won't stop here. They'll just find the next woman to spotlight, use, drain, and toss aside. This ain't about one player. It's a cycle that keeps repeating while the league cashes in and keeps it moving. But of course, not everyone sees it that way. Some folks out here swear Brittney's just playing victim, trying to stir up drama to dodge accountability, and some of these takes straight up out of pocket. One user went on a full-blown rant on Twitter saying, "When will the WNBA ban Brittney Griner from playing against women? This is the greatest scandal ever perpetrated on women's basketball. Besides impregnating his wife, Griner's resurfaced video left no room to question her gender. He is a man acting like a woman." And of course, they attached a whole thread of so-called proof to back up their claims. That kind of narrative is wild, and it's exactly what the league doesn't want to acknowledge publicly. Because if they admit that this scandal is spiraling into something they can't control, the heat's officially off Brittney and squarely on them. Now here's where it all gets messy. If Brittney really is holding onto a digital folder with solid receipts, emails, recordings, policy docs, real names, deals, and hidden agendas, then the league only has two moves left. Option 1, shut her down legally, fast. Option 2, offer her something big enough to keep quiet, but every day they hesitate. The pressure mounts. The story's already leaked. Fans are asking real questions. Journalists are poking around. Social media is on fire. And all it takes is one screenshot, one voice memo, one undeniable piece of proof. And this stops being just Brittney's problem. It turns into a full-blown crisis that could wreck the WNBA's reputation. So now here's the real question, the one nobody wants to say out loud. Why would the league go this far to silence Brittney Griner, a woman they once paraded as their symbol of strength, survival, and pride? Why move this quick to shut her down unless what she's threatening to expose is actually that dangerous? What if that folder isn't just about her? What if it holds every dirty secret, protected names, behind-the-scenes deals, medical hush orders, favoritism, and power plays that would change the way fans see everything? If that's the case, then we haven't even scratched the surface. This scandal could go way deeper than anyone's ready for. And trust, the moment she decides to hit send on even one file, the game changes forever. If you've been following this roller coaster, don't just sit on the sidelines. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. This storm's just getting started,